Hi, babies. Hi. Is it nice and cool in here? Oh my gosh, look at Billie Jean. Oh, she's, yeah. Hi, Billie Jean. Hi, guys. Oof. How are you guys doing today? Yeah, no. Oh, you didn't miss it. I was running late. Of course. I had to go to my office today, so we got that done. Hi. So I spent a few hours there this morning, so that was good. Oh, and now we have Dirt Cat. Dirt Cat. Dirt Cat. I know. You can't climb up because your nails are short. Oh, so it is super duper. Oh, there's Alma on the move. Where's she going? No one knows. So it's super duper hot here, really bad. It is like 90 some degrees out. I don't know what the humidity is, but it's not good. Our office is up to 80 degrees now. It's pretty hot. So I just wanted to give you 2 really quick updates. Hi guys. You can't make it from that far. You cannot make it from that far. Oh, come on. 2 really good updates, or really quick updates, excuse me. The first update I'll go over is, oh, thanks for sending the heat, Dutchie. Hi, Dark Cat. You see his little wound on his head right here? From Humane, Ohio. He rubbed his face on the cage.
Is that what that is?
Yes. He went up there looking perfect and pristine, and then he's like, I don't like this cage. Boom, 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 boom.
He's ornery.
Yeah, he's a rascal. Hello. Okay, so the first update is, gosh, which do I want to do first? Do you want bad or good? Bad or good? Let's do the.
Are you looking at my candy bar? Gosh dang it. Oh well.
Let's do, we'll do the bad first, okay? But I want everybody to hopefully have a, a light heart, okay? So this is, I'll just read this to you because it's just easier. This is in memory of Rathbone. 3/11/11, 7:30 to 24. On 3/11/22, a cat arrived at the rescue under the knowledge of euthanasia was certain. He was in such a terrible shape. He was bleeding, had a broken arm, and found lying in the road. This is the story of Rathbone. Upon examining him, Lynette and I knew he was rough, but we could see the life in his eyes and his absolute desire above all for attention and food. Within moments, he had us wrapped around his paw, willing to do anything to help him. He worked his way into the hearts of every volunteer, but most especially Debbie, and he loved her equally. It was very easy to see. During one moment, I had been loving on him while he was still in a pen. He was eating up the attention, but he could not take his eyes away from Debbie. They knew they were meant to be together. Debbie has provided Rathbone the best home and life that he could have ever known. He had his very own mommy and a brother, both of which doted upon him. Often you would hear Debbie having to change his food as he decided he didn't like it anymore, or that Rathbone would insist on affection while Debbie watched TV or would try to send an email. Yesterday, Rathbone crossed the Rainbow Bridge. He was surrounded by those who loved him, his mommy and Trusty. While these times are incredibly hard, I am grateful. I am grateful for the love he has known for almost 2.5 years. And I'm grateful for Debbie, who never denied him anything and loved him even when he was being an adorable rascal. We'll miss your silly antics and your random bursts into the main room for snacks. Love you, sweetie. Our hearts are with our volunteer and friend, Debbie. You gave him the bestest of lives. Thank you. So yesterday, Rathbone crossed over to the Rainbow Bridge. That was when he first came in. I think that was the day he arrived. Oh gosh. That was the day he arrived. Rathbone had been feeling sick for, gosh, probably a week or so. He had been treated. We had taken him to Dr. Darcy's. They discovered what they thought was pancreatitis and just a few other issues as well. And we treated him accordingly, gave him meds and fluids and everything you can imagine. And he decided yesterday he was ready. He was ready. So we're really heartbroken and sad. But he was lucky. He was, he had 2.5 years that he wasn't going to have initially. We didn't, we thought for sure the day he arrived that it was a euthanasia, and I've told you guys this story over and over, but we were so sure that he was a euthanasia based on the call that we had gotten. We had our medicines pulled and ready for him, so he did not have to suffer. And when we saw him, he was a mess. He was absolutely a disaster. But he just had this spark in him, and we knew the risk that we were taking with him. He was an older boy. I believe at that time we had put him to be about 12 years old. And Darcy said yesterday, that's a guess. It could have been 14 years old. He could have been 15 years old. We don't know. He was definitely older than what we thought for sure. Or, we think he might have been older than what he thought. So he passed at about, we had 14 and a half years old. But it's very likely and impossible that he is older or was older than that. But so while we're sad about it, we're happy in the knowledge that he did have the best mommy ever. Her heart is of course broken, but she knows it was the right thing. And she knows that we tried everything we could. We tried. And sometimes this will just happen. This is part of pet ownership. We all have seen this. So I think we're mostly comforted by that fact, that he was at home, he was with his mommy, and boy, he was loved, and you guys loved him so much too. I love that. You guys spoiled him so much. Debbie spoiled him so much. My gosh. He was a rascal. And I think that's the hardest part is you'll miss that rascaliness. He was a character. Debbie always called him a nudge. He was a nudge. He was a nudge, and he was. But he was a sweet nudge. So. Oh, we all loved him, seeing him escape. He was a character. He was yeah, and making funny cards of him. Yep. It is, a decade ago when I lost my previous boy, a girlfriend sent me a message, and it will always stick with me, always. But it said, having a pet means some of the best days of your life and one of the worst. And it's so true. We just have to remember those best days that outweigh this bad. So, but he was happy. He was at home, and he told us when he was ready. And I'm grateful for that. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you wonder if you should have waited. You should have not waited. You wonder that. But he knew it was ready, and it wasn't too late. And so I think a lot of us are comforted by that fact. Rathbone and Debbie were a true match. Both rascals. Yes, very true. They were both are both rascals. So her heart is broken, but she's you know, I'm grateful that she had him. So, because he, you know, he got 2.5 years that he wouldn't have had, you know, wherever, you know, not that I don't blame any other rescue, because it's a lot financially to put in these cats, but you know, if it could have been another rescue, he might not have been alive, you know, with all his issues and, you know, surgeries and stuff he had done. So we're grateful. We're grateful. You know, it was a gift that we did not. Oh, I love that. 2.5 years were a gift that he did not expect. And
I gotta find you some.
So yeah, he did give us so much joy. Yeah, he was just the best boy. He really was. So we're all at peace about it. We're very sad, but you know, this is life, you know. And he had, what's that?
Another bump in the road.
Another bump in the road. Yep. But he gave us so many awesome days. So he did give us so many awesome days. I mean, honestly, for us here and you guys. I mean, how many of you guys would have make your day seeing his little antics bursting out the door, being an absolute rascal? I mean, it would make our day. Mm-hmm. Yes, so Debbie is definitely loving extra on Trusty. Trusty's being a little more clingy to his mama, and I'm glad they have each other. Oh, I know, all of us loved it, and he made. Think of how many. Oh my gosh. Think of how many people Rathbone made happy.
Oh no.
When he would burst through that door and come here and eat.
I know.
Would that not make your day? I mean, we would all just laugh. Thousands of people watching on the camera would make their day. And think of the joy that he brought to everybody.
I know, that's true.
If you guys haven't seen, and I don't know if you've even seen it, Denise, but there is a video out there. Mods, I don't know if you can even find it. There is a video out there where one day I had the camera low on the ground. And I had to go into Deb's house for some reason or another. I mistakenly did not fully pull the door shut. So he snuck through. So
loved it out here.
So that sneaky snake was gobbling up food. And he looked so guilty, and one of us had walked in, and he was like, "No, I wasn't eating it," and he like froze, like he knew that he was going to be busted.
I've seen him do that before too.
Yes, and someone walked right by, and he was like, "Oh, they didn't catch me." Do you guys remember that video? Does anybody? I hope that's. I know that was recorded.
It's always funny watching Debbie chasing him here, trying to catch him.
Oh.
Back in the house.
Oh yeah, watching Debbie trying to catch that is, oh man. You know, and seeing this teeny tiny little Debbie, you know, all like 4 foot of her, carrying this like huge cat that was as big as. So yeah, I think it was recorded, Jesse. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and I will send see if I can send it to the mods and have them post it. It's one of my favorites because he was so sneaky, and Lynette was the one out here, and he was like, watch him, you can see in his face, he's like, oh no, I'm going to be caught. It slays us. So that was our first update. And while it's sad, I think there's a lot of peace with it. You know, yeah, Rathbone was meant for Debbie. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, Debbie taking him for a walk with the outside wagon. That was hilarious. Oh, Cheryl T, I do have that photo. Cheryl said, do you have the picture that you took of him when Debbie was out of town with the tie and the big smile? I do. Yes, and he can eat all he wants now. The nice thing is the last few days, he had been kind of finicky on eating. And Debbie just ended up, you know what, she's like, you can have whatever you want, and gave him real dry food, not diet dry food, not diabetes dry food, real dry food. And he was like, yeah, this is a snack. So yeah, so there's good things to think of here. And you know, I'm sad for Debbie because goodness knows I just dealt with that. I know a few of you guys have just dealt with that. I am Jeff. I would love to see the Rathbone escape. It made us laugh so much. It did. He brought I mean, for this little cat, and well, not really little, but he brought so much people joy. It's amazing. So I will see if I can't dig that video out, and I'll give it to the mods and have them post a link onto the page. Okay. In other news, oh, thank you, Kitty's mom. In other news, we have some good news for you. Is Rue, our sweet Rue. She is doing, I don't want to get cocky and say very well. I'm going to knock on wood. Our sweet Rue is doing better. If you guys have missed it, Rue had been, Rue. I was singing this song to her. It's from South Park, if you guys know it. But Rue, I want some apples. Rue, I want some too. So I have been fighting since this weekend Rue's temperature. She has had a temperature all weekend long, and we have been fighting it. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. We were starting to get a little worried. But we took her to Darcy's on Monday. Bless their heart. She makes room for us, and she has such a big plate on her hands, and yet she will squeeze us in. And so we sent her up there. So we believe, we have it figured out, we believe that she has something called toxoplasmosis, which it can happen from the cat or animal, the cat eating a dead animal, from my understanding. So that's how that can happen. Or it can happen from mama cat eating a dead animal and getting this toxoplasmosis, and then nursing to kittens. That can transfer to people. I think you see it mostly in pregnant women. That's why the pregnant women don't scoop litter boxes, things like that, because it can cause this, I believe. But anyways, so there's a very specific med that you use for this that you don't use in your normal day-to-day. It's not in your normal day-to-day arsenal that you use. So we switched to that med on Monday night. We've still been dealing with temperatures, things like that. I don't want to get too cocky, but her temperatures have been up in the 104 range, which is that's not great. So it's very high. A normal temperature is what, 100 to 102, and 102 is kind of a high normal. So it was 104.8, I think it was. So we've been doing a lot of palliative care, starting her on meds. This morning, her temperature, it's been a little bit of a scary few days. This morning, her temperature had gotten down to, it was 102.8, which is amazing considering it's still high. It's a fever, but amazing compared to the 104 plus it has been. And then I just temped her right now, and she is down to 10. See, I sent it to Darcy because Darcy's been like, what's the update? What's the update? It's 101.9. So she's even below that. So I think the right meds are working, and like I said, it's a very specific med that fixes this one thing, but you've got to catch it early. So that was our fear of, was it caught early enough, you know? But so it's heading in the right direction. Big, massive thanks to Celeste and Cindy, and to Raven. You know, just like us, when you have a fever, you don't want to eat, you don't feel very good, you get dehydrated. And one night, I think it was Monday night with Raven, I told Raven, I don't care if you don't do anything else tonight at all. If you don't do anything else tonight, of course, aside from feeding the cats. But making sure that Rue eats. And so she goes in there, and we have a concoction of a lot of water and a lot of food, little food, a lot of water to try to get her that hydration. And Raven found out that she wants to eat off of a spoon. She wants to eat off of a spoon. So once she found that out, it has been uphill since then. Celeste and Cindy, bless their heart, came in like every hour last night?
Till about 9:30.
Till about 9:30 to come in and just give some more food with water, food and water. And she's starting to eat now on her own, and she's perking up a little bit better. But big thank you. That's hard. You know, yeah, if you're not feeling good and you don't want to eat, and then you also get dehydrated, and we've been giving her fluids, but so I'm grateful for them and Raven to figure that out. So she's been eating. This is Celeste, was that from you or was that from Cindy? I think it was from you, wasn't it?
That was my pictures of you.
Celeste took this last night and she said, "I'm eating, Mama Megan." And she sent that to me about 7:30 last night. She's like, "I'm feeling a little bit better."
Rolling around on her back.
She's rolling around, which is quite the big improvement. So I felt her first thing this morning. I came in, the first thing I did was feel her with my hands, and she didn't feel as hot. So I started getting excited, and then I just came back from work, felt her again, and she felt even less hot. So I'm hopeful. I think we just needed to get, today is the, what is it? Today would be the second full day of meds once we give her med dose tonight here shortly. So I think we just really need to get the meds in her and keep up with that palliative care of the water and things like that. So there's some good news for you for today. So, all right. Well, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for loving Rathbone and helping us with him. You helped us a lot financially with him. Ouch, Butterbean. 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 Yes, a big thank you to Darcy for always seeing our cats. Man, I always feel terrible because she is always just beyond busy. Where is it? Oh, there it is. This is from Woo's. It's her brother's backyard, right, Woo's? I'm sorry. Can you imagine? Real life Ruse. I told Rue, I said, "This is what you're going to be when you're bigger." Oh, thank you, Terry. Yeah, so, yeah, can you imagine? I cannot imagine going to see walking out my backyard and seeing a kangaroo there. Was on his sidewalk. That's wild. Oh, Butterbean. My pretty Butterbean. I want to clean your face, but you won't wet me, Butterbean. But I love you. Butterbean. All right. Oh, that would be very nice, Mike. I'm sure she'd love that. Ow. That was a chin bite. All right. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon, and I'll keep you updated on little Ruru. And yeah. So I'm glad she's perking up. I was getting a little worried, but she's such a sweet girl. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Go back to my 80-degree office. Butterbean, Butterbean. You are just such a weirdo. I will. Yeah, I'll send Debbie you guys' love. You're welcome, guys. Sometimes I often wonder if I shouldn't quite be as open and keep some of this rough stuff to you guys, because it is hard work and it can be sad. But I love you. All right, thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. Have a great day. All right, bye, Bean. I love you, my little Bean. You're such a goofy guy. Oh, whoa. Looks like Denise put down a new toy.